is a fetish, or for a lot of people, whether you are a male or female, it goes both ways. Yeah, and Brad said that earlier. We're gonna bring back in. Maybe she got everything right. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. I can't. What's going on? Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Thank the Lord.
All
Yes,
righty. But I was gonna say,
Jesus.
I would say, like, as a woman, do you think you are more sexualized compared to a man?
In the same sport or
Yeah.
as an athlete?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I caught the comment somebody was saying that women women choose to take, I guess, their assets, that what we've gained, and do sexual content and that kind of thing with it. Somebody just said that.
Yeah. Somebody said that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Many, I think, do. And there's a reason for that. For example, there's men compete, and men get they get a certain amount of money for wins at the professional level, and then if they're sponsored, a lot of the sponsors match what they make. The women, very very few get the compensation even close to what a man gets. I mean, I don't know the figures to be, the exact figures, but I think that's a fact. I don't think anybody would argue with me about that. I think that the women choose to do, like, it's a tough thing. I did it for a little bit, and I did it to make money. I mean, I needed to make money. I wanted to have more time to, anybody who does this for a kind of a career, it really is, it takes a lot of time. It takes time to train, to rest, to prep, to do all the things that we need to do correctly. And that we could do the OnlyFans and that kind of stuff and make a pretty good amount of money to pay our bills in a short amount of time. And we get judged for that. And I mean, I understand that everybody makes choices, and there's good things and there's bad things. Would I prefer not to do it? Yes. Or would I have preferred not to do it? Yes. Um, and I say that because, as much as, to tell you the truth, I've gotten some very, very good friends from it. That and again, we can talk about, the reasoning for why we do it, but I think most women would agree that have done it, that we do it to make money. I mean, we have to make money, and we put so much into our body, and some of it is, we have this great body that we've built, and we do want to show it off. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there is a part of that feeds the ego, right? Um, but it is very sexualized. But I have to tell you that I do see a lot more men doing it. And I've actually recently talked to some men who've gotten into, like, the OnlyFans type thing, and that seems to be the newest thing. Maybe it's because of um, all the different kinds of people that are identifying, as, differently. Maybe it's really kind of opening up this world more to people that didn't even know that it existed. But I think a lot of the males are getting into it more, but again, because they see that they can make this money in a short amount of time, and it's something that is big and rampant in I think probably more for females than for men. And I'm not judging in any way, shape, or form, although I do think it's wrong. And I know there's judges. I know one very judge in particular in Pennsylvania, and I've been pretty vocal about it. She's been on podcasts saying that if you had a one and a two that were very close together, one has the OnlyFans, one doesn't, which I don't know how you would know unless you're, at that level. But anyway, she would pick the one that doesn't have an OnlyFans to go first.
That's the thing. That's the prejudice of a judge. If you see
I
somebody
mean,
looks
does
better than you,
anybody, what do you guys think? I think when I was waiting for her to answer, and I was like, how's she going to answer this? And she goes, I would pick the girl that didn't have the OnlyFans. And I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with, tell me what, to me, how she should have answered was, I look at the criteria of what I'm judging on, and it's boom, 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 and to me, that shouldn't even come into play. Now, as well as I do that, you know, that stuff does, in this, you know,
I think that's the politics side of it coming out because I watch Dominican denominator. I can't remember his name, but his podcast. And he says the problem with it's a judge's opinion. We may think this person should have won, but the judge says no, this person won. So if we go to the OnlyFans side, well, now we're going back to the politics of you got OnlyFans where hey, this is your trainer, this is your trainer. I don't like your trainer. So, and I think that's a hard, difficult part in our sport to overcome is the politics side of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the winner's based on it's opinion based versus running track. It's the fastest person wins.
Exactly. It's easy to right. This is still objective, right? Yeah.
And a good example is that there was a Canadian pole vaulter at the Olympians in Olympia. She has a OnlyFans because most of these athletes, most of the time, if they get sponsorship, it helps them pay, but generally a lot of them don't have that sponsorship. If she put out something too risky, it's mostly just modeling stuff, hanging out with friends.
You bring up a good point. Like OnlyFans does not have to be the sexual. They don't have to get naked and masturbate and all that stuff. They can just go on and stay in a bikini and do their thing. I don't know that one is you're not prejudiced over one over another. I think once you have OnlyFans, you're kind of put into that grouping. You know what I mean? But I think that should be kept out of it. But again, like you were saying, like I don't know how you would do that because we're all human, and I think it's a natural thing to kind of judge somebody out of the gate almost, right? I mean, I think I see myself do it, and then I have to reel back a little bit to go, come on, Marianne, they're not, that doesn't mean that they're a bad person, for different things, but as far as the sport goes, I think the saddest part, and not talking about competition, is just the way, like if I'm at a gym and I'll have people approach me very positively, and then if I'm online, if I'm on Facebook, and I'll get messages, oh, I saw you at the gym today. I wanted to talk to you, but I didn't want to because I didn't want my friends to know that I that I even want to talk to you. Like that kind of thing. But yet they'll go backdoor and try, it happens all the time. All the time. So
it's kind of it kind of remembers Dave Chappelle's skit when he was accused of this girl, but she was ugly, and he said, "I ain't touched that bitch. I never." He said, "No, please believe me. I ain't no." But that's the thing is, people want to. If you like something that's different, people want to say, "Why are you like that?" I mean, I've been with situations where I post stuff, especially female bodybuilders, especially my even before I started doing this content stuff, I was just a fan. Guys would say, "Are you gay? Or do you like these are dudes? No, these are women."
Yeah, they think you're gay because the women look like men in their mind.
Yeah, well, there's some pretty men. One most definitely. I'm one fan of is Andrea Shaw. I can't help but I might assess over a little bit because
Can we not
I love.
say her name once?
I can't help it. I can't.
I know.
Help it.
You know what? She's beautiful. She is beautiful. She's muscular. She actually, like, my girl was always Linda Murray. I just thought from a young age, and we're probably close to the same age now. But I always thought she was just spectacular. But you know what? You can all you like what you like, and I don't know why. Who knows why? And then when I did the OnlyFans, and then and just being online, people talk to you, and they'll reveal to you a lot of their innermost secrets or innermost desires, and it's pretty neat to see. Um, uh, First of all, it's nice to have people be honest and kind of open up to you and not judge them. Give them an outlet where they can tell you these things, you know what I mean, and how they feel. I just think it's unfortunate that you can't be honest about it, that you can't, why is it such a taboo thing? And I've actually had more women probably in the last couple years, that they've kind of come around and they'll say, God, I wish I had arms like you. And where instead of being approached that, I'd be standing next to my trainer and they go, well, I don't want to look like you. And I'm looking at him like, I'm not deaf. I'm right here. And I don't want to look like you, but I don't say that. I wouldn't want to say that. I wouldn't want to make somebody feel badly, but yet they don't have a problem with making me feel bad, which is funny. I put a lot of work in this, and I put a lot of time in this. If you think that anybody can go poof and they look like that, it doesn't work. Even a man, right? I mean, you know how much work you put into this. I mean, it's a lot of work, but isn't it wonderful seeing the little changes and it's wonderful.
And we gotta give him and Brad, is you compete and train when you out there.
My wife, when we're out and about, it's bad. I'm not with her. These people that don't ever step foot in a gym will come up to her and say, I don't want to. He wants to look. Oh, look at her. Look like you. Blah blah. I'm never around when they do that. But
they say, what do they say? They do or they don't?
They'll say, oh, I don't want to look like you. He wants to look like that. Because she's got muscle.
Oh.
But when I'm with her, they'll come up to her and say, oh, girl, look at your back. It's so. I mean, I wish I had your back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll talk about how people will they'll give you the side eye, stare you down, and see and I don't. I mean, I'm
so
not.
You live it.
Yeah, I mean, see, I don't notice it because I guess it doesn't bother me. But she'll, when people stare at us.
Well, God, look at you two, man. I'd stare too.
Well, see,
but I would stare and I would come over to you and go, damn, you guys, you look great. You know what I mean?
Well, see, we live in a town, it's about 100,000 people.
Where, what state? What state?
Texas.
I mean,
we're in Texas. But if we go to Dallas, it's the norm up there. So people don't stare or, make comments up there. But where we're at down here, bodybuilding is not as big, or they don't do any shows down here or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, she knows people will stare and gawk and stuff like that.
Yeah, which I think
with muscle. Yeah,
I don't think that's I don't think it's a bad thing, so to speak. What's the best, and I think you'd probably agree. Is children. Children, there is no lying in them. So and I don't know that I've ever had a bad reaction. Little boys or little girls, they'll stop and they'll go. I mean, they'll stop in their tracks. Yeah. And I've seen men walking with their wives, and the men, they're like this, George. They wanna and they can't, and they know they'll get smacked. And I'm kind of, when I'm out with my man, George, my man, I will go, damn, look at that girl's butt. She has got a great butt. And I'll be like, Carl, he's already looking at it. But I don't think that's I want him. I'm like, man, and it's not a bought one. It's one that's been, developed with hard work. I think it's a great thing. And I'm sad for the relationship that they can't be, that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything other than you're giving. It's different. You're giving kudos to somebody that you know. You can look.
I mean, if you go to
Nothing wrong.
a competition, you know, we'll see the audience, and she'll say that guy's got a good back, he's got good glutes. Well, I go, yeah, he does. I mean, then or her, hey, she's got good glutes
Hmm.
or whatever. It's not like people I think are insecure. So if their significant other says, oh, look at that other person, oh, we can run off and cheat on me. I think that's where the insecurities come into play.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It,
And then
yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame. Typically, if I really like the man, I will make it a point to go to the wife and to make her feel at ease because I just um I don't want to get anybody in trouble for anything. And if I really like him, I'm thinking I'm really gonna like her. You know what I mean? Hopefully. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, yeah. And then see y'all two in a sport where you're around these people most of the time, sometimes half naked or all the way naked, like especially spray
mhm.
tanning. Guys like
Oh
me,
sure.
we see something like that, we be like, yeah,
Oh
we just
absolutely.
our mind be blown because something that it's one thing like, I played football. I took shower with guys. Hey, this is it. I worked at a strip club. I
Sure.
seen girls come in there with titties out to here, ass out to here.
Oh
Some
yeah.
some
Yep.
some natural, some got some replacements. I've
Yep.
seen that also.
Hmm.
It's just a different look between different people. We have a
Yeah.
comment from a man, Warrior 2000. Shout out to Warrior. He says this. He says Kai Green was an exotic male dancer before he
Oh,
became a bodybuilder. So
he
was
was
Tony
beautiful.
Freeman, the X-Men, and Pillow, a female BB, back in the 80s, worked as a stripper during her time as a bodybuilder. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I know Pillow. Also, Warrior says, so the fetish does unfortunately fall in place with the sport. It happens like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, and also he says this to you, Marianne. Says Marianne is 100% woman. Anybody who thinks otherwise needs psychological therapy.
Thank you. I totally
Yeah.
appreciate that. I totally thank you.
Well, like I said, we as men, and we appreciate a woman, be it just the regular day, everyday woman, be it an athlete, be a female bodybuilder. Respect your, like, that's why I say I respect your commitment and passion to the sport.
Yeah.
Also respect you as a person, but we also going to know as men, we're going to find somebody attractive, appealing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's
And
just,
and that's the thing that I think with women, I'm very vocal about that. It took me a long time, and Brad, I don't know if you'd agree, but it took me a long time to realize that because I used to be jealous when I was younger, and then I realized once I kind of let my mind open a little bit that just because you might be attracted to, and it might not be a full like I'm very like I'll see people and I can appreciate the work and the whatever it is, if they're whatever sport they're in, whatever kind of I can appreciate that, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to jump in bed with them. It's strictly a an admiration. Um, and men are attracted to that. Doesn't mean that they don't love who they're with. Has nothing to do with that. They are married or they love who they have, but they're gonna look and they're gonna be like, oh wow, and then the mind goes right. Your mind go, but whoa, why does that feel like? Because it's different, right? I mean, Brad, if you feel somebody's, you feel somebody's arm, like this, it's firm, right? It's firm, it's hard, you know, but other women, I mean, I felt it when I train people and I hug them, I'm like, sometimes,
Yeah. Hey,
right? But
yeah.
what I try to, that's one of the things that when I'm training, I have a great group that I'm training right now, and I see the changes. The one girl I had the chart and I was showing her the muscles of the butt. And I was like, well, this is the one we got to work on. And then I went like this to hit the media off the top. And it was like a rock. And I was going, whoa, look at that. And I'm taking the credit for it. Look what I built. But but really, she did the work. She did the work. She ate right. She rested. She did all the things that we teach them to do. So, but I did take some credit. But
Yeah. Yeah, I
so
remember when I first met Marianne. It's going to be almost three. It's 3 years ago we met, and
yeah,
that was when
yeah.
she came down here for. It was the Amazon Fitness magazine debut, and I just, this lady I've talked to over on online and social media, and just to see her, I was just
Mhm.
happy to see her. Another person was happy too, but I'm not gonna talk about that guy too much. but
Yeah.
but just to get to know her you know and just look past that, she's a physically attractive. And Brad, this woman, she is a woman of mature age, and she
Mhm.
is, you wouldn't think of
60.
it, 60. You wouldn't, she is,
Yes, 60.
amazing.
60. I know,
Yeah,
60.
60. 60. Yeah.
Yeah, the gym is a fountain. My wife says the gym. You want a fountain of youth? It's the gym,
Yeah.
and that's the bad part. People don't realize that. I mean, the gym has so many benefits. It's just
It's
not.
right. I mean, so many benefits, even and sexually, talking sexually for women, because I gotta get going. But sexually for women, our libido, I have not seen that happen with me yet. I hope to God it doesn't. Or I told Carl, take me out the back 40. Like if I start wearing those moo-moos, I call them.
Yeah,
If I start wearing those, baby, you drag me by that moo-moo, because you know what that means to me? I don't ever want to have sex ever, ever again. Take me out the back.